Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. It's a really lovely spring afternoon. It's very warm outside, but it's also very windy. It's been super windy for the past 3 days, but so far so good, no broken pots. I recently shared with you that I'm changing some of my larger terracotta pots to larger plastic pots because of the wind, and so far so good, no broken pots this season yet. But there's a lot of plant debris laying around, so I have to clean it up. I have some early flowering spring bulbs that are now done blooming that I need to pull out to make some space for my summer bulbs that I'm going to be planting soon. I also have my flower seedlings that need to be transplanted to their final pots probably next week, so I have to make some space and kind of rearrange the things to make some space for those plants, and then just some general cleanup, fertilizing, watering, because with a wind like that obviously plants get dehydrated pretty quickly. So I thought I'll take you along with me for this balcony gardening day. So let's go. Why don't we start with the spring bulbs first? Alright, so here are my tulips, and this was my bulb lasagna. I planted Crocus Jeanne d'Arc, beautiful large white crocus, and then I had another layer of Tulip Infinity, another absolute stunner, and then there's also a third layer, and I made a silly mistake because I recently said that, oh, something is wrong with my irises, they are not blooming. And in fact, I convinced myself that I planted Iris reticulata, which is a late winter, early spring flowering iris. And then when I checked, I actually planted Iris hollandica, which makes a huge difference because Iris hollandica blooms a little bit later in the season. So in fact, everything is fine. Those irises just need a little bit more time. But I'm gonna be pulling out the tulips here and here. I don't keep tulips from year to year. It's not worth it because tulips don't come back well the next year. Those older varieties, those that our grandmas have in their gardens, or those that we call botanical type tulips like Tulip turcastanica, these come back from year to year. But all of those new fancy hybrids, they do not come back, so it's not worth keeping them. But if you need a little bit more info on how to keep bulbs from year to year, I have a whole video dedicated to that where I show different ways of preserving bulbs, different ways of keeping them from year to year, so you can check that out for more information. I'm gonna keep the soil in this container. It's perfectly fine to reuse the same potting mix after your spring bulbs. You can just add a little bit of organic matter, for example, a few handfuls of compost or something like that, and you can totally reuse it for your spring plants. Alright, so here I need to be careful not to damage those iris bulbs. I think I'm not gonna be pulling those tulips yet. I'm just gonna cut them low to the ground, low to the soil level, I mean. This way the irises will have a little bit more light, a little bit more space to grow. Just wanted to show you something from up close. These bulbs are absolutely covered with aphids, but that didn't prevent them from blooming. A certain amount of aphids is necessary to feed all of those beneficial creatures like ladybugs and others. Alright, so this part is nice and clean. Now we can finally see those irises. I'm gonna water and fertilize everything at the end. And now let's move on. Alright, so these bulbs are still looking fine, and that's funny because these are exact same ones that I had in my bulb lasagna, Tulip Infinity. These are still looking fine. They're a little bit beaten by the wind, but I'm gonna stake them using these individual stakes, and then I'm gonna water them and hope they bounce back a little bit and I can enjoy them still for a couple more days. These small bulbs here, Pushkinia, and this one Rogue Muscari, are pretty much done blooming, so I'm gonna get rid of all of that, but I'm gonna cut those flowers and use them in a mini bouquet for my Sunday challenge on Instagram. Alright, so we are at the back of the balcony and I have several things to do in here. It's quite messy. I need to rearrange those pots a little bit better. And look at my lilies, they are so large already. There's a Lilium regale and Lilium candy blossom. These are lilies that I keep from year to year, that's why they're already so large. Normally I'll be just planting lily bulbs, but you know, when you keep them as perennials, they wake up early in the spring. So I think I'm gonna actually take these two and place them in the other part of the balcony, because they will be blooming probably in about a month or so. Alright, so first let's address this huge hydrangea in here. It's a hydrangea serrata blueberry cheesecake, but I planted it in this large concrete pot here, and it's absolutely massive. Not that I mind, because it's an absolute stunner. When it's in bloom, it's just so beautiful, and pollinators absolutely love it. But since this hydrangea was not supposed to be this huge, I also planted pipit daffodils in here. If you can see, here they are, barely blooming. There's one flower in there, because obviously they are overcrowded by this massive hydrangea. So I just have to pull those bulbs out, because there's no point for those bulbs to be there, because they don't bloom and they just look a little bit messy. They look like a tall grass. Plenty of spiders everywhere there. Right. Okay, so it looks super messy right now, but ultimately I want this space to be my sort of vegetable garden. I have my 2 blueberry bushes in here, my 2 alpine strawberries. And then I want to create a sort of a galvanized buckets area in here. So to use those galvanized buckets that I have, for example, over here. Currently I have spring bulbs in them, but I would love to use them only in my vegetable garden from now on, to create sort of a lovely little arrangement in here and on the other side, and to grow only edibles in this part of the balcony. You know what, I was just thinking, why don't I just bring all of those galvanized buckets here already? I mean, those tulips will be done blooming in about a week. So this way, I already have the pots placed in their final location, so I'll just have to pull the tulips out and that's it. I can plant my veggies in here. So figured I'm gonna enjoy this little display for a couple more days in this corner. Looks pretty decent, to be honest. And then I can continue to rearrange my veggie garden in here. Goodness, this plant definitely needs a haircut. And the pot is broken. Great. Alright you guys, so it's been a couple of days and I wanted to show you an update on this corner. I continued to work on this corner. I removed all the tulips that were done blooming. I just kept this one container because these healthcare tulips are still looking fine. In this large galvanized tub I transplanted my lettuce seedlings. It's lettuce that I started probably about a month or so ago indoors. It's Batavia lettuce. Then I divided one of my alpine strawberries and planted some of them in here. Then in this empty pot we have arugula that I just started from seeds, and then I transplanted my parsley plant into this last galvanized bucket. I keep parsley as perennial, it's pretty winter hardy. And then on this side I have some radish that I am growing in this wicker basket, more radish, and another alpine strawberry. So here is the progress on this corner. Alright, so it's finally time to water and fertilize everything. So let me show you really quickly my spring fertilizing routine. So for all of those plants that are putting on vegetative growth, so only foliage, I'm gonna be using Alga Grow, which is an organic fertilizer rich in nitrogen, and nitrogen is the mineral that your plant needs the most when it's in the growth phase. So all the trees and shrubs, non-flowering shrubs, and all the leafy plants are getting alga grow. Then all of the plants that are either blooming already or are about to bloom, so they already started to produce flower buds, these are getting alga bloom, which is an organic fertilizer rich in potassium and phosphorus, which are two minerals that are essential when your plant is in the flowering or the fruiting phase. And this year I'm also trying Power Buds. This is a biostimulant, so it's not a fertilizer, it's a biostimulant, and it helps your plant utilize those nutrients that you give in a fertilizer to produce more flower buds. So it's really awesome for ornamental plants if you want to enjoy more flowers, if you want that plant to produce more abundantly. But it's also great in your vegetable garden for all of those fruiting plants like tomatoes, peppers, and all of your fruit bushes. This increases the flowering, and obviously the more flowers, the more fruits or vegetables you will have. So it's something I'm trying this year, and these are my just base plant care routine that I've been using for years now. So I already mixed in Alga Grow in here, so let me show you what I'm fertilizing with Alga Grow. So in the shade garden here, it's mostly foliage, so pretty much everything here is getting Alga Grow. So we have a fern, hostas, Japanese maple, little ornamental grass on the floor, another one in here, another hosta, and podophyllum. There's also Brunnera on the floor, and as long as it produces some flowers, I don't really care much for those flowers. I mean, they're really cute, but I have plenty of forget-me-nots that look identical, so I don't really care, so I will just give it a bit of Alga Grow as well, because I mostly care about foliage. Alright, and then it goes pretty much the same for the other plants back there, and all the rest of it that's flowering is getting Alga Bloom plus Power Buds. Alright, so now that everything is watered and fertilized, there are a couple more things that I want to do. I want to bring some of my seedlings outside. I wanted to say to harden them off, but it's 20 degrees Celsius outside, so it's not really hardening off. So I'm gonna place them all outside, let them get a little bit of fresh air, a little bit of wind that makes them stronger, so that's great. So let's bring them all out. Alright, so here they all are, a couple of Caleuses, some nasturtiums, sweet peas, looking a little bit messy and tangled, snapdragons, lucky lips, and snapdragons, Kimosi apple blossom, and some lettuce. Okay, and last thing that I will do today, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm gonna create a mini bouquet for my Sunday challenge. If you guys are on Instagram, don't hesitate to follow me there as well. It's 17 square meters garden. And every Sunday we have this fun challenge called My Mini Bouquet. It's a challenge I started last year where we just celebrate our small gardens with some seasonal mini bouquets, and every week so many people participate. I think we shared like in total over 1,000 mini bouquets, so that's pretty amazing. So if you'd like to participate, it's always on Sunday. You can post anytime you want, but I usually repost all of those bouquets on Sunday. So I'm gonna create a mini bouquet for the challenge. Alright you guys, hope that you enjoyed this balcony gardening day with me. Just as a quick reminder, I also have membership programs available on my YouTube channel now. By joining one of those membership programs, you can gain access to exclusive bonuses such as personalized feedback and advices from me, and you can also gain access to exclusive members-only videos where I post detailed plant care guides and tutorials. I already have a tutorial available on how to grow caladiums from tubers and how to grow beautiful clematises in pots. You can join that membership program by clicking the join button below the video. Thanks so much for joining me today for this balcony gardening day, and we'll see each other in the next video. Bye!